because of the season of the year. But what if it wasn't just this time of year? What if it was all times a year? And what would that look like when I said in meditation, what if every thought, every emotion, every word, every action was of love? Would that change something in your lives? I know it would in mine. Most definitely. But that's a huge challenge. So today we're talking about love making a space. Because we're at the point in Advent where there's no room in the inn. You remember that part of the story? So we're going to review a little bit, just in case you weren't here, or you have never been a Catholic, or you've never heard the story of the birth of Jesus, or something, okay? Could have been all of the above, right? So the first week of Advent, and B lit the hope candle, or the faith candle, was all about Mary. And if you remember, this angel appeared to her and told her, honey, child, you're going to have a baby. Well, she didn't go, woohoo, yay! She went, oh, how can that happen? And if you were here that Sunday, we talked about the faith that 14-year-old girl, because she was not in her 20s, she was a baby, had to have to be able to do what she was supposed to do. She had to have some faith. Now, the piece that I didn't share with you that Sunday is that one of the ways we acquire faith is talking to someone else who's going through something similar. She went and found Elizabeth, one of her family members, who was pregnant, who was further along than her, and she was like, can you explain all this to me here? What actually is going to happen here? I need to understand this. And as you can see in that picture, it looks like Mary's touching Elizabeth's stomach and feeling the baby move, and like she's going, oh, okay. I'm beginning to understand this a little bit more. So as we maneuver through today's lesson, what is it in your life that you need that much faith about? And who is it that could be your Elizabeth? Somebody that might be a few steps beyond where you are, that could share a little love with you, to help you have a little bit more faith in your own personal journey. Last week was about peace. Actually, that's one of my favorite stories because I feel so for Joseph. I can't even imagine what it was like to be him. Remember, he was supposed to marry Mary. And in those days, when he realized that she was pregnant, the laws said that she was to be stoned. So if he took her as his wife, he probably could have some repercussions also. And so have you ever been in a situation that was less than lovely and you had to try to stay peaceful in it? I mean, think about the fact that this man had to take this woman from Nazareth all the way to Jerusalem. Remember, that was 65 or 70 miles. They did not have Ubers back then. A pregnant woman ready to give birth riding on a donkey. That's less than lovely. Less, very much less than lovely. I can only imagine what he had to do with himself to stay peaceful. Remember, the journey was full of bandits, wild animals. What did they eat? How did he take care of a woman going through Braxton Hicks? You know what that is? If you've ever had a child, that's false labor pains, but they're not fun. So just think about all of that. What in your life could use a little peace? So today, we're all about love. That sounds easy, doesn't it? Huh. Remember that? So here's Mary and Joseph riding on a donkey going into this town. They didn't have cell phones or Expedia or any of those kinds of things, way to make hotel arrangements. They just had to show up. Anybody in here ever shown up somewhere and you didn't have a room? I have. But thank God you had a car, right? And you weren't almost 9 months pregnant riding on a donkey. And so you weren't going, can we stay here? Sorry, there's no room here. What happens when things don't work out the way we think they're supposed to work out? Can we remain loving? There's the deal. Again, we think it's pretty simple when we come in here, and sometimes it's not even simple in here. Lord, come in for rehearsal some morning and see what it's like when you got all the choir and all the people and trying to get it all up and running. Yeah. I let my Christ light shine by being a messenger of love. We all affirmed that this morning, didn't we? Say it with me again. I let my Christ light shine by being a messenger of love. What happens then? We got to have something. Some kind of something. Because when information comes into me and I'm not ready to receive it, that's when things that I have not dealt with, emotion, stuff, starts squirting out sideways. You know about those things? Because I didn't prepare. And you can't prepare for everything that's going to happen. I can promise you. And you can do all kinds of Reiki attunements, and you can do all of your due diligence. And every once in a while, God's calling somebody, telling them, be loved, be loved, be loved. And no matter what we do sometimes, the situations that come across our radar screen, it's difficult at best to stay in a place of faith, peace, and love. I'm just going to wait till he's done talking because I can't even focus with him talking on the phone. That's a good thing. It is that kind of morning. It's just like, it's not what you want to see or hear or feel. Is he done? I know it did not. It didn't go as he planned either, probably. So I'm going to share something, a little something with you all, if I can get through it without crying. I'm a grandma, and that is exciting. And this little baby didn't come as we planned. We planned it to be later in the month, so he was a little early. His mama is barely 5 foot tall. He weighed 7 pounds, 8 ounces, and was 21 inches long. So she was in labor for 18 hours. When he came out, he was having a really hard time breathing. They had chosen to go to Williamson Medical Center to do this, even though Mommy Denise had said, because I usually tell people that are getting ready to have babies, you never know what might happen, so please go to Vanderbilt or Centennial. They have the best neonatal intensive care units. So what has happened in this process is that he is at Centennial. She was at Williamson. So we've had an interesting week. He is still at the NICU unit at Centennial, but he is doing remarkably well. Technology is amazing. I sat with Logan and Vicki yesterday at my mother's house, and we watched live feed of him from the hospital. So, and Santa Claus came to see him while he was there, and that was cool. But how do we remain in faith, peace, and love when things don't go exactly like we had planned? We had planned all of this after Christmas, and everything was going to be whoop. And so our lives and a lot of the things that we were doing turned upside down and inside out. So I want you to talk to someone beside you about how you stay in the vibration of peace and love when things don't go the way you think they're supposed to. Go. So it sounds like this is a topic that is timely for all of us. Because you wouldn't be here if you didn't know a little something about what unity teaches. And we all know that our lives are better when we give love and joy and peace, and it comes back to us. But some days are not as easy as others. And then there's, whoops, see, it's not going the way I want it to. Bonk, rock. There we go. You ever heard this right here? You know, that's really the only law we have. That's it. It's very interesting to me to look out into the world and to see people that call themselves Christians that don't do this. It just is bizarre to me. I don't really even get it. It's like, how can you treat other people not in the way you want to be treated? I don't get that. But we're called to love God, whatever our concept of God is,